In this video, we are going to be looking at improving your swing, improving how you move, but not thinking about all the kind of technical parts to it. What we're going to be doing in this video is using the ball flight to create the motion. And that ultimately, when you speak to tour pros, obviously there's a lot of technique going on, but a lot of it was born out of hitting different shots, and the task kind of leads to the motion. So it's a fun process, and often, you know, if you've taken a more technical approach and it's not working for you, this can really make the difference. And it's more fun and more intuitive and relates to actually playing the game. And in fact, you know what, I can remember a time when I used this process exactly. I was playing a Europro Tour event was coming up. My coach gave up on me on the driving range. I actually got sacked by my coach. I don't know if that ever normally happens. But I think I was swinging over the top, and he just got bored of it, and he said, "I can't help you anymore." So I was really kind of demoralised. I had things kind of strapped to my leg, I had technical ideas, and I just couldn't get the right motion on it. And then, you know, after a period of, I don't know, I probably sulked for half an hour, I thought, well, you know, this can't be that difficult, can it? All I've got to do is get my swing path out to the right and a closed face. And within 5 balls, I was hitting loopy high draws, and I had a really good week. I think I finished 5th that week. Fantastic. So the aim then is to, you know, get away from some of that more technical thinking and actually think about club delivery. So with that situation, so I was presumably fading it because I was swinging over the top and not releasing it. Can we do the opposite? So if we're going to use the ball flight, we need to, as I said, we don't need to get into massive sort of swing technical issues, but we do need to understand the ball flight laws, or at least in their most basic form. So what makes the ball curve the way it does? So what I've got here is I've got one of these sort of nice bay dividers. This represents our aim line, you know, our ball to target line, if you like. Now the cane here is going to represent our swing path. So swing path, in essence, is the direction the club is moving as it moves through the ball. So if I tilt the cane like that, that is a swing path that is going out to the right, or in golf terms, it's an in to out swing path. And of course, a swing path that swings to the left of you would be an out to in path. Now, path is important, and you can imagine if you're trying to kick a football and you want some curve on it. Let's imagine you're trying to sort of curve it around the wall, and in that way you would stand over this way to begin with. You wouldn't stand over that way. You would stand from here, you'd swing in that direction, you'd swing your foot in that direction, and that would be our swing path. So the foot's going like so, but of course it's also important where on your foot you strike the ball, and in that analogy you'd be striking the ball on the inside of the foot. So the foot is not at the same angle as the path, otherwise you just get a straight shot. So in our football analogy, you know, we swing our foot out to the right, hit it off the inside, and creates that curve. So it's the combination of, back to golf, it's the combination of where the face is pointing and our swing direction, our path, that creates the curve. And the bigger the difference between the two, the more curve I have. So let's imagine I'm trying to hit a draw shot. So that's my aim line, you know, that's my target, the divider here. But if I want to start the ball and curve it back, I would need to be aiming my stance out to the right, or at least I would need my path going out to the right. And the club face, well, let's think about this. If I had my club face straight relative to that, and the club's moving out to the right, then of course the ball's just going to go dead straight out to the right. So in order to get the ball to come back, I need the face to be ever so slightly closed relative to the path. So if that's the swing path and that's the ball to target line, the face needs to be somewhere in between the two. But most importantly, for the purpose of our video today, the path is out to the right, but the face is sort of closed 1 or 2 on my scale of sort of 1 to 5 to get the ball to curve back. And of course, let's imagine you're a golfer that has struggled with a hook, you'd want to try and hit some fades. So you would need a path that swings out to in and a face that comes through 1 or 2 open. So here I am, I'm aiming, the aim line is, the target line is down that post, which points pretty much at the the studio building on at the end of the range. So I would start by, I think to make it easier, I would start by aiming my feet to the right and just getting a feel of what it's like to swing down your feet line and turn the club over. So turning the club over, you know, there's plenty of videos on this on the channel, how we release it, how we rotate the face, and we're looking for the face to be just a little bit closed relative to our swing direction. So I'd start with just hitting some big, let's start with some big hooks, shall we? So that's a long way right. Can I swing out to the right and turn the face over? And that ball came back a little bit. It was okay. So if the aim was to not slice it, I've done well. I hooked it. If I want to hook it even more, then the face needs to be even more turned in. So you can just try and rotate the arms over more. You can even adjust your sort of face and grip a little bit. So I mean, if you're slicing it in the first place, you definitely want to make sure that your grip is on the stronger side. So top of the wrist more on the right side of the handle. Now if I turn the face in a little bit as well, that's really going to help me get that closed, or 2 or 3 on our scale. So this should have even more curve. And sure enough, I mean, that started way right, lots of curve. Now of course, you know, it's not the first time I've done that. If you're a slicer, then you know it's not going to happen initially. You need to kind of really be playful and have some fun with it, and think, you know, what does it feel like to really get the club down and behind you, to swing out to the right and turn the face over. That's the big thing, isn't it? Can you generate that into-out path? Starting with your feet aiming to the right is obviously a huge help with that. You can even get away with swinging over the top and still have an into-out path. So as you start to progress and get quite good at that drill, you would want to lessen the amount that you're aiming to the right with your feet. So you bring your feet sort of slowly back to square until your end goal is to be able to hit that ball that starts right and comes back, but from a square stance. Now, of course, the drill is then tasking you to be able to get the club down and behind you, swinging from the inside and square the face. Now that's a long journey from hitting big kind of loopy hooks. But as I say, with time and you know, going through that process in a playful way, you might surprise yourself. So this is what I did. I sort of started by hitting a few of those with my feet, and then after about 15 minutes, I just thought, well, yeah, what would it take to just get the club down and behind and swing it out to the right and hit a big old loopy hook. And I had something like that. And it's not especially pretty, but remember, I was coming from a place of trying to get out of swinging over the top. I had a brilliant tournament week that week, you know, and that was me done, you know, from a position of being sacked by your coach because I can't stop swinging over the top. Just by thinking ball flight and club delivery, I'm now hitting high draws, which was a brilliant week. Now going forwards, there's a more technical approach. You'd want to get certain things right, but if you are really stuck in a pattern and you've got a really persistent ball flight that's out of control, this is a great way to go. So of course you can also do it the other way. Let's say you're a player who struggles with hook, then with a hook you've either got a big into-out path or an issue with closing the face heavily. So either way, trying to hit a fade would deal with both of those, wouldn't it? So same thing, we'd aim our feet way left, we try and swing down our feet line, but this time keeping the face open as you swing through. So back to our scale of face angle, so that's an open sort of 2 or 3. Can I start by swinging way left with an open face? And sure enough, there's our big fade. Same as before, have some fun with that. You know, if the ball goes left, while you're doing that drill, that'll be a face error, almost certainly. So that sort of brings you into how you control the club face. And as before, we would slowly lessen the amount that we aim to the left. We neutralize our stance until you can feel that same pattern in your swing without the, you know, adjusted setup. So that approach is a really kind of intuitive way to help you change your swing, improve your skill of club delivery, while ultimately controlling the ball flight. So it's not a case of, do I go down a technical route, or do I just go down this kind of more intuitive route? Ideally, you'd get a balance of the both. But if you've been heavily down the technical route and things aren't shifting, then that is a great way to go. If you've enjoyed the video, then please click subscribe, and there'll be more content just like this.